showed you, O man, what is good. What does the Lord require of you? To act justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God. All the things that I have seen for the past 5 months when I pick up my phone to look at social media or something to that effect are not the man that I have known. And I am thankful that many Georgians have gotten to know the man that I know. The man who loves the Lord with all of his heart, who does not have to do this, but said, "Here I am, send me." Lord, we thank you for Rick. We thank you for his family. We thank you for the sacrifices that they have made. We thank you, God, that you are surrounding him with your angels, wingtip to wingtip. We pray that he would feel your pleasure because he walks in humility. Lord, you call us to humble ourselves before you, and that is what he has done. We pray your blessings upon him, his family, his team. God, we pray for the state of Georgia, that all of us tomorrow will come together as one. Lord, we love you with all of our heart, soul, mind, and strength, and we thank you for the man that you have given us in this wonderful leader, Rick Jackson. Bless him exceedingly abundantly tonight, above all he could ask or imagine. In Jesus' name. Amen.
Please give a warm welcome to Commissioner Bubba McDonald for the national anthem.
Hello, Georgia. Are you ready? Give me an R. Give me an I. Give me a C. Give me a K. What do you got? Rick. You got Rick. All right. If you will, join me as we sing to America, our national anthem. Oh, say, can you sing by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Ladies and gentlemen, please give a round of applause for Representative Lisa Hagan.
Good evening, everybody. How many of you are ready to win tonight? How many of you are ready to win in November? And how many of you believe that Georgia deserves a leader who knows how to solve problems instead of just talking about them? You do and I do, and that's why I've been so proud to support Rick Jackson for governor. Thank you. Titles do not make great leaders. Character makes great leaders. A servant's heart makes great leaders. A commitment to doing the right thing, even when it's difficult, makes great leaders. Rick Jackson is a great leader, and he is going to be a great governor for the great state of Georgia. Tonight is is not just about election returns. It's about celebrating what we have done together, the relationships that we formed, your energy, your hard work, your prayers, your passing out those signs, all of it. It's been so much work, but here we are, and I'm so proud to be standing here with you tonight because this campaign is about building a stronger Georgia. It's about building a more affordable Georgia for families. And it is where every community, from our smallest towns like the ones I represent in South Georgia to our largest cities, all have the opportunity to thrive. So friends, let's enjoy this evening together that we're about to have. And then tomorrow, let's get back to work for November. Thank you for believing in Rick. Thank you for working with each other for this team that we've all built together, and thank you for being a part of something bigger than yourselves. So God bless all of you, and God bless the great state of Georgia. Thank you.
Welcome to the stage, Representative David Jenkins.
Well, good evening, everybody. It is such an honor for me to be spending the evening supporting Rick Jackson and with all you other great supporters as well. So again, I'm in the state legislature. I represent House District 136. And you've heard this from a lot of folks, but I did not know Rick Jackson before he announced that he was running for governor. And as I got to know him, that became even more impressive because I got to learn all that he's been doing for our community and all the strong advocacy that he's been doing, but truly as a servant leader, not here to get his name on the side of buildings, but here to help people. And that was so impressive to me. You know, I'm a citizen legislator. I fly an air ambulance helicopter for my full-time job, but I think I'm most defined by my military service. I spent 20 years in the Army. Well, thank you, sir. Thank you. I spent 20 years in the Army. 15 of those years were with the 101st Airborne, and I spent 4 years in combat in the Middle East. And that experience has taught me how to identify leadership. It's taught me how to recognize the importance of good leadership. Make no mistake, Georgia's best years are in front of us, but we can't take for granted the leadership that we've had that's got us to this point. And Rick Jackson, he's the man. He's the guy that can take us forward. In closing, and I'm a really bad politician, so I'm just going to say this. Elections come and go, and sometimes we wish somebody was on the ballot that wasn't. And I am just so happy to be standing here tonight supporting Rick Jackson, somebody that I am all in for. We are lucky to have him. I thank each and every one of you for coming out here tonight, and let's win this thing. Thanks, guys.
And now, please welcome Representative Bill Fincher.
Welcome. Let me see if I can hear a Rick over here. Let's hear a Jackson. Let's hear a Rick. Let's hear a Jackson. Who's going to be governor? Woo! You don't know how honored I am to be invited to speak tonight. I did not know Rick Jackson until Brent Cox told me, you're going to love this guy, Fincher. You're going to learn to love him. And I have. I have never seen anybody who ran for public office who could stand in line any longer than Rick Jackson. He will wait till everybody who showed up to see what he stands for had an opportunity to eyeball them, to say whatever they wanted to say, to ask any kind of question. Rick Jackson is the real deal. Now, I'm the oldest freshman legislator in the United States. This is my first year in the legislature. But I was an investigator before. I was with the district attorney's office before that and prosecuting people. When I get to know somebody who has character, I can recognize the real deal. Let me hear a Rick over here. Let me hear a Jackson over here. Who's going to be our governor? Thank you.
Give a round of applause and welcome Representative Vance Smith.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor to be here tonight. I'm from Harris County. My wife, Michelle, is here with us in the crowd. Happy to be here. I must tell you, I had a call from Rick back in February. I knew of Rick and some people that had worked with him, the great company that he has, and he called and he didn't talk about Rick Jackson. He asked me, he asked Vance Smith about the district, what legislation we're working on. He cares for the state of Georgia. And he's cared for the state of Georgia and done things for the state of Georgia that most people have never seen. Helped us during COVID with the antibiotics that mostly were made in China. So I tell you, he is an entrepreneur, but he came up the hard way and he has really had a positive effect on our state. So I couldn't be happier to be here. My wife Michelle and I. Rick Jackson all the way. And I tell you, let's just bring it home. Let's bring it on home. Thank you.
Welcome to the stage, Representative Josh Bonner.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Thank y'all so much for being here. My name is Representative Josh Bonner. I've got the honor of representing portions of Fayette and Coweta County, and I am so glad to be with you tonight. I'm telling you, Rick's story is incredibly compelling. That journey from foster care to now running and owning a multi-billion-dollar business is an incredible story. In fact, it's an American story. Only in America can someone come from nothing, work hard, and become a man of means. That's the kind of leader we need in Georgia. For the challenges we face moving forward with access to health care, our economy, workforce, Rick Jackson has faced each of those challenges, and he has met that challenge head on every time. So friends, we're at a crossroads here tonight. We're at a crossroads as to which direction Georgia wants to go. The other side wants to take Georgia in a different direction. But tonight we can send a message that Georgia is ready to continue to move forward. And we are going to win tonight, and we are going to win in November. Thank you, and God bless.
Now, please welcome Representative Derek McCollum.
Thank you. My name's Derek McCollum, State Representative Derek McCollum from Hall County. I'm so excited to be here. I spoke last time, but I knew, I was told by God that Rick was going to win. We're going to have a businessman in the state, in Georgia, and it's a governor, and he's going to make great deals for us. And when people call me and ask me, why are you supporting Rick? I just say it's very simple. Rick is the nicest, most humble man, and I just tell them how personable he is. I grew up poor myself. I know what it's like to be without, and that's what we need in the governor's mansion, is somebody that knows what it's like to do without. So thank you for being here. We're going to win, and it's all because of you and all the people that got out and got excited in Georgia. Thank you for being here. Let's go, Rick.
Please help me welcome Representative Layman Franklin.
Hey y'all, how you doing? Y'all feeling good tonight? I'm feeling so good tonight. I mean, I wish you could see what I see right now. And it's a whole room of Georgians that know one thing is certain, that Rick Jackson's going to win tonight. He is. He's going to win tonight. I know it. And you know, when I stood up here last time, I was talking about how good of a character he is. I gave you some examples and all that. But think about this, everybody in this room knows it already. In fact, everybody in Georgia knows it already. Is that right? He is a man of character. He is a leader. He's a man that can get things done. But what I want to share with you a little bit tonight is that this whole experience for me has been amazing. It's been awesome. I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot about politics. I've learned a lot about human nature. I've learned a lot about my colleagues, to be honest with you. A lot. I've seen some that I thought were strong. They ended up being a little weak. And I've seen some that I thought was weak that have displayed amazing strength of character and backbone. And I tell you, it takes something like this to be able to see the true character of people. Is that not right? But I tell you, one thing that I really learned is the character of Georgia and Georgians. And Georgia wants to win. Georgians want to win. Georgia wants to do the best thing for this state. And I'll tell you somebody else that wants to do the best thing for this state, and that's Rick Jackson. And somebody else that knows how to win is Rick Jackson. And he's going to win for Georgia. Can I get an amen on that? Thank you.
Please give a big round of applause for Representative Rick Townsend.
Let's go, guys. Let's bring it out. Let's go. Rick, 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 Rick. Let's do it. All right. Okay, guys. We're all in this together. We're going to win it tonight. We all talked about it. We know where Rick came from. He's overcome everything else, and we're going to overcome it tonight, y'all. We're going to win it for the state of Georgia. Let's hear it one more time. Rick, 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 Rick.
Please help me in welcoming Representative Jacqueline Ford.
Good evening. I'm honored to be here on this momentous night. I'm a member of the House of Representatives from South Georgia. When I endorsed Rick, I was pretty much on an island alone. You see, all my colleagues from my area endorsed the other guy. I mean, all of them. I had to drive 2 hours to find another Rick endorser. I got calls and texts. Do you know what you're doing? You're still kind of new. Maybe you need to follow your friends. Some said that I should just stick with the other guy because he's the safer bet. But you know what? That's not good enough. Georgia deserves better. When I met Rick, his humble beginnings, his success story, and his faith is what won me over first. After talking with him for just a few minutes, I knew that he wouldn't be the type of person to sell our state out to special interest groups. Not only is he not that type of man, those groups can't buy him anyway.
Yes, I hear you.
Trust me, I've been at the Capitol for a few years.
I'm sorry,
And
how
it's
far?
easy to see where the money flows most readily and who's waiting for a payday. I have no doubt that Rick will protect our children, our orphans. As Matthew 25 states, whatever you did for one of the least of these, you did for me. Proverbs 19 says, whoever is generous to the poor lends to the Lord, and he will repay them for his deeds. I think these verses summarize
Denise's
Rick's
mic, 1, 2,
life
3.
of passing on his blessings to others. We hear a lot of our opponents saying, we don't need a billionaire in the governor's office. You know what I say? I don't care as long as it's his own money and he can't be bought by the establishment. And I love it when he says, I'm going to shake things up. I, for one, am looking forward to having a front row seat. In South Georgia, agriculture is the lifeblood of everything we do. I'm grateful to have a businessman and a problem solver to help Georgia's #1 industry. Another thing I like about Rick,
Family and supporters.
Okay, Denise.
Are you going off me?
process, you learn a lot about your colleagues, your community, and your state. And through that, I have had the privilege of traveling with this character, Lauren McDonald III, and we have been traveling the entire state on what is now known as the Bubba Bus. And some of you may have seen it, but Lauren's father, Mr. McDonald, who sang earlier, in honor of him is how we named the bus. But I want to tell you this, none of this is possible without each of you. And I want to say thank you. Thank you to every one of you for standing strong, for reaching out to your community and fighting. And we've made a difference. Lauren, would you like to dive in, Lauren, and tell a little about our trip?
Well, Brent, it's been a journey. It's been a great journey. My journey started sitting in the House chambers. Brent had endorsed Mr. Jackson. About 4 or 5 days after that, I'm sitting there preparing my legislation. All of a sudden on X, Bubba McDonald endorses Rick Jackson.
Lauren's father.
Yes, all I could say, well, there goes my bills. Everything's dead. But I was proud. But I had to do something that I'd never done before, being the governor's floor leader for 5 years. I had to find pathways to get my bills passed, and I did that. But the journey was just beginning. The journey started sitting down with Mr. Jackson again, talking to him, and seeing what his mission was going to be for everyone in this room. Every child, every parent, every grandparent in the state of Georgia. And it's a mission that we all in this room got behind, one by one by one, and stood with Mr. Jackson. From the hills of Blue Ridge to the coast of Camden County, we've all gotten behind Mr. Jackson. We've got friends on both sides. We will heal tomorrow. We will heal. I can promise you this. You've heard speeches from politicians. You've heard promises from politicians. We need a leader. We need a man with courage. And Mr. Jackson is that man. And I'm the luckiest guy in this room because I'm going to have the governor's mansion a half a mile from my house because Mr. Jackson says he's lived in public housing before. He's going to live at his house. That's going to be the governor's mansion in Forsyth County. I'm that lucky. So I want to thank everybody for being here. The numbers are looking good. Still going to be a long night. I want everybody to have a great time. We are your closing act for the night. But I've enjoyed riding around this state with Brent. I was the driver. He slept and stayed on his phone the whole damn time. So I'm ready to start. I need a week off. I need to fuel up the bus. So I need y'all to give me some diesel money tonight. So just come by and put some in my pocket because we got to fill up the bus and get back on the road tomorrow. Because y'all seen this. I wore my Superman cufflinks today. And so I want y'all to know, Rick Jackson is going to be Keisha Lance Bottom's kryptonite in November.
Okay, so, and I got to hear that the whole time. I tried to cover my ears and sleep. Clearly it didn't work. Here's what I'd like to do to close out. I'd like for you each just to silence down a little bit. And I want to say a quick prayer and speak a blessing over everybody, if you would.
Young Caleb wants to talk to you.
He's desperate.
Yeah. He's really scraping Farrell.
You ready? Well, as you can see, the results are coming in. And before I get into the numbers, I wanted to give a shout out to a couple counties who got the early voting results as required by state law in just a few moments after the polls closed. Floyd County was the first to have all the early voting numbers in first. Just 3 seconds later, Polk County followed suit and uploaded their early voting numbers. Now, I don't want to overstep, but these two are actually married. So maybe there's a competition to see who buys dinner. You know, as they say, winner, winner, chicken dinner. So 24 counties did not submit their early voting numbers by 8 p.m. However, we had 13 counties who have already completed their election night reporting. And Webster County was the first to hit all 100% of their voting totals in. Our investigation team was hard at work today, traveling around the state of Georgia, despite battling downpours all day long and residual World Cup traffic. They went to 130 counties and inspected 468 polling locations. I'm happy to report we only saw minor issues. Thank you to all the hard work of our county election officials for your work making sure that Georgia's elections run smoothly. Finally, I have some final numbers to report on turnout. Today, we saw a total turnout of around 580,000 votes. That breaks down to about 385,000 Republicans and 200,000 Democratic voters. We have John Fever, our state election board chair, who is out in the field. He's going to say a few words. John?
Thank you, Mr. Secretary, for running another great election. One of my favorite things to do on Election Day is go out and visit the polls. I did that again today. Got to see a lot of polls, and every time I go out there, I'm amazed at what great election workers Georgia has and what a great system we have for voting here. The workers are happy, the voters are happy, everybody's confident out there. They like getting in and getting out. It's a quick process, it's an easy process, and I have yet to find anybody out there that was upset with our system in Georgia. And I always like getting out there and seeing where the action takes place. You hear a lot of things about the negativity of it. I don't see that when I'm out there in the polls. And I want to thank the Secretary for running another great election. I too found very little problems today, only minor things. And I think it's another successful election for Georgia.
Thank you. Also, I want to thank our election director, Blake Evans, here, because he and his team have just done a tremendous job. It doesn't just start today. It actually goes back long before we even started early voting and then mailing those first, absentee ballots. It's about, training. It's really the whole story of, if you look at it like Chick-fil-A, they have that remarkable philosophy. And when you embrace a remarkable philosophy, it's about great people doing great things for great people, which is our voters, and making sure they have really peak performance and peak delivery of services from our folks at the county level, at the precinct level, and then here at the state level, overseeing elections. So thank you, Blake, for everything you've done so far today. And so with that, if anyone has any questions, I'm happy to entertain those. Yes, sir.
Both you and the board chair, you both talked about how well everything worked, how people seem satisfied. We have a special session, though, starting tomorrow about fixing this system. Is this a system that needs fixed? Is the way Georgia tabulates its votes, do you see any sort of problem here that needs this attention?
Well, I've actually been very clear about that. In fact, when we've done 2 audits after we did the first, the primary election back on May 19th. Then we followed up, first of all, with the risk limiting audit. And we're one of only a few handful of states that actually do RLAs, risk limiting audits. And what that did, with a 99% confidence, verified the results. But then some people have questioned the ballot marking device with the QR code. And so what we've done is actually we scanned and we read every single one of those ballots with the human readable text. And we found over a 99.92% accuracy of that with the machines that were done with the ballot, with the QR coded system. So we know that the ballots are accurately recorded. Then we're keeping a line shorter than 1 hour and getting those quick results. All that comes together, and that's why UGA did that poll, found that 85% of all people trust results. I'm an engineer. I live by data. I live by numbers. Our Deputy Secretary of State comes from an accounting background. He lives by numbers. He lives by data. And that's what we're dedicated to give people the real numbers, accurate numbers, quickly, and making sure we we keep those lines short. And so as soon as I can get back here to tell you who the results are for the gubernatorial, contest, the lieutenant governor contest, and that, we'll be doing that so y'all can get to bed well before 12 midnight tonight. God bless you all. Thank you.
Good. Are we planning more of these, or is that it?
close. As of right now, this race, you're leading by a very wide margin. What do you think was a difference?
Well, I mean, the different audiences, right? Like the electorate always changes. You know, we had over 1 million Democratic primary voters on May 19th. We probably had about 300,000 or so today, and so there are different audiences you have to talk to. But that's part of building a coalition, you know. And in a minute, I'm going to have to talk to the entire state. I was just talking to Democratic voters for the primary, and that's how our system works. But now we're in a position where we really get to send our message to independent voters, Republican voters, and so the difference is you just got to be adaptable. And for tonight, we focused on the people who we knew were going to show up for a primary runoff. And when we see millions of voters this November, we'll have a message of prosperity and standing up to the Trump administration that I think a majority of Georgians will be able to get behind.
And two more questions for you. Why do you think you're the man for this job?
Well, I'm a convener. I bring people together. I've been endorsed by over 60 of my state legislative colleagues. I've been endorsed by Stacey Abrams, U.S. Senators Ossoff and Warnock. You don't build that kind of a team without the ability to relate to people, the ability to work together, and you don't put yourself first, right? You put the team first. And bigger than Democrats, now we're talking about the general election. It's about putting Georgia first. It's about making sure that Georgia working families don't get left behind. When we spoke earlier this afternoon, we were talking about wealth and income inequality have never been higher. People feel like they're doing everything right, but they're still struggling. So what politicians need to be able to do is show up for the moment. Are we going to be able to make real change on housing, on health care, on all the issues that matter? That's what voters are going to be paying attention to, and I think I'm ready to help deliver that.
How do you prepare for November? Because you mentioned before, now you're speaking to the entire state.
Totally.
A lot of people are tired of the current administration, but he still has supporters as well. So how do you speak to everybody ahead of November?
The thing that I hear consistently across audiences is voters want somebody with a spine, right? Like there's too much being cowardly and hiding behind the scenes. Politicians from both parties, focus grouping their talking points, polling everything before they open their mouths. We're done with that. It's time for a new era where we say what we mean, where when working families are getting screwed, we are able to say that, and we can do things like end corporate ownership of housing, expand the premium subsidies that we lost from D.C. last year, use some state dollars to make sure people can afford health care. Let's be direct, let's be focused, and let's fight for working people. That's what people really want to see right now, and I think whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, being able to message in that way, being able to fight in that way, that'll be rewarded by voters.
Thank you so much. Congratulations.
Thank you, Larry.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
Thank you.
And so I'm hearing today at my precinct, it was very robust turnout in spite of the rain. And Mo gets things done. Mo Ivory is about getting things done. And that is what people long to see happen. A leader that can take the reins and take us in the right direction. And that is who she is.
Thank you, Senator. Appreciate it. build a true statewide coalition. We did it with hard work. We did it with friendships. We did it by believing that Democrats could be better, that we could build a real statewide network. And what I love so much about this campaign is the same group chats and the same friendships and text messages that we're sharing now to campaign. That's going to be how we govern. That's going to be the networks that decide the future of Georgia, the direction that we're going to take to respond to working families' needs. That is happening in this room, and it's been happening across the state. Folks who are working for campaigns, folks who are county party chairs, everybody mattered in this process, and I'm just delighted that I get to be the person in this lane, in this role, to bring everybody together to do it, to flip Georgia for the first time in 20 years. I could not be more grateful to everybody in this room. You are my friends. You are my fellow soldiers. And we're going to do it. We're going to do it in November, and it's going to be with this team that's here right now. So thank you so much.
Mr. Josh, how do you prepare for November?
More of this. More of this. We got to work hard. We got to work hard. Yeah.
And guys, as you can see, his team is cheering him on right now. He just gave his acceptance speech, his victory speech here to his crowd. I'm not sure if you can hear me because I can't really hear myself, but they are supporting Josh, and they are ready for Josh to take it on and win in November. And as you can see, he is giving people hugs, and people are celebrating his victory so far in this race for lieutenant governor. And I asked him, I said, what makes you different from your opponent? And he tells me that he's really focusing on the everyday people. The economy is a big issue that he is focusing on as well. And so he really want to reach everybody for this upcoming race here in November. And I asked him how would he prepare for November. As you just heard, he just tells me that more of this, more of support, more of a grassroots effort here. He said he is wanting to reach everybody, both Democrats and Republicans, come up in November. I'm going to toss it back to you guys. I really cannot hear myself, but I'm going to toss it back to you guys. Back to you.
Jackson. You know, I've known Rick Jackson for about 10 years, and I know him as a private person who cares deeply for young people and their future. I've watched him as he advocated behind the scenes. He won't be behind the scenes in a minute, but behind the scenes and financially help those who don't have a hired lobbyist. The lobbyists, the voiceless, like teenagers aging out of foster care without a family to call their own, and pregnant women with no one and nowhere to turn to for support. In my mind, they just symbolize the Rick that I know's passion to use his time and talents to serve others, you, your children, and your grandchildren. I've watched as he's worked behind the scenes to improve educational choices and reforms for all children, and to give parents the upper hand in making decisions for their own children. I know him as a family man, married to his wife, Melody, his adult children, Chad, Shane, and Dana, and his 8 grandchildren that he is unbelievably proud of. He's a humble man that cares about regular people and doing the right thing, creating a business that is regularly ranked as one of the best places to work in Georgia. He's a Christian who lives his faith in his quiet actions, not on his chest. And when I think of how Rick lives his life and his decision to run for governor, I'm reminded of a few verses in 1 Peter. Peter writes that we should use whatever gifts we have received to serve others as good stewards of God's grace, and that we should serve by the strength that God supplies so that God gets the glory. Rick is the living definition of a good steward, someone who serves out of the strength God gives him to make things better for others. I watched Rick throughout the campaign in settings when no one was watching. He's the same man behind the microphone as he is when the microphone is turned off. He thinks about others. Farmers, small business owners, employees, mothers, fathers, teachers, retirees, and most of all, young people. As governor, I know Rick Jackson will hear your voices and your concerns from every corner of Georgia, and he will make them his concerns to make your life better. For these reasons, I am proud to stand here and be a part of this celebration for Rick Jackson, the next and 84th governor of the great state of Georgia. Now I have the honor to introduce our Georgia Insurance Commissioner, man tapped to clean up the state insurance office after the previous 2 commissioners were sentenced to federal prison. You can't make that up. A longtime law enforcement officer, an Army officer, and now insurance commissioner, please welcome Commissioner Jonkin.
I'm so excited I can't stand behind the podium. I hope you all don't mind that. I am telling you, I am so excited to be here with this room full of energy. And that's what's going to take to win in November. Folks, there's a reason they call this a campaign, because it has the same energy required as a military campaign. And you are part of this winning team. You know, folks, I started my career as an Atlanta police officer, walking what they used to call high-crime foot patrol. And I walked some of the toughest neighborhoods in Atlanta, to include Techwood.
Y'all, I am so proud to be standing here as your Republican nominee for the United States Senate. Now, I can't go any further because I've got a few special people out here that's helped make this happen, and I just got to say thank you. First and foremost, to my wife, Leanne.
Copy.
I've always been my best friend for way more than the 37 years that we've been married. And she is the rock of our family and has always had my back, even through thick and thin times out there. And none of this would have been possible without you, Ian. Thank you. I appreciate it. Of course, none of this would have ever been possible without my mom. And Mom, I appreciate you. She's always been there for all of us, all of the children. And hey, my children are here. Thank you. Where I see Dakota and Dylan and Summer and all of our grandkids are here. So it's amazing. Y'all, my entire family's here. I see my younger brother's here, who's actually taller than me, and my little sister's here. Y'all, our entire family we're just close knit. And they have been such a big supporter of mine and helped me throughout everything, not just this race, but our entire lives. Y'all, I also want to thank my staff and all of our convoy captains out there. Y'all give us a round of applause for them. You know, I spoke with Derek Dooley a few minutes ago, and we had a really good conversation. I'm glad that he and spoke with the governor too. I'm glad they're on board. We all know what the mission is here, and I'm very thankful for that. But I want to thank Derek because he ran a spirited campaign. And I want to thank Governor Kemp for his leadership and his friendship over the years. You know, we're Republicans now. We're going to have some robust primaries out there. Sometimes we got some strong disagreements. But I can tell you one thing. Now we stand united around one mission. That's right. And y'all know what the mission is. It's to put a Republican in that seat and get rid of that John Ossoff in November. Return this seat to the people of Georgia. And I look forward to helping and getting the help and working to do just that. But y'all, most importantly now, I want to thank the people of Georgia for putting your trust in me. I mean, to those that voted for me, those that didn't, those that might not quite know me yet, I'm going to work every single day to earn your trust, your support, and your vote. Now, for those of you that don't know me, I'm Mike Collins. You see, I grew up on this red clay right here in Jackson, Georgia. This state is the only place that I've ever known as home. I mean, it's where I built my business. I raised my family here. And you see, I learned the hard lessons that shape how I've been able to deliver results every day in Washington. You see, my wife Leanne and I, we started our little trucking company a little over 30 years ago, hiring, making payroll. And y'all, with the help of a great team and my family, we've been able to build it to the business it is today with nearly 100 employees out there, just delivering goods and services across the state and across this country that help fuel this economy. You see, I know what it's like to have employees and their families count on you to make the right decisions every day. John Ossoff doesn't. I know what it's like to sign the front and the back of a paycheck so that Georgians can put food on the table and provide for their families. John Ossoff doesn't. And you see, I know what it's like to take Georgia values of hard work, honesty, integrity, and a solutions-based approach to Washington, D.C. to get things done. John Ossoff doesn't. The truth is, this is the truth. We need more business people in Washington who know how to get things done, and that's exactly what I've done in the 2 short years I've been up there. I mean, y'all know I say this all, but think about this. Getting 2 pieces of legislation signed into law by 2 different presidents from 2 different parties in a bipartisan fashion. And the first, the Trank Act, which is helping combat and prevent the spread of these dangerous synthetic opioids out there that have been infiltrating and killing our communities. The second, the Lake and Riley Act, to prevent just these criminal illegals like Jose Ibarra taking another innocent life. And do y'all realize to this day, that bill has led to the deportation of over 20,000 illegal criminals in this country. And you know, see, I got those things and more done by doing the same thing that I've been doing in the private sector for 30 years. That's doing the right thing, bringing people together, building coalitions, and finding common ground just to get some uncommon things done. I mean, that's what it's all about. And if I'm given the honor to serve Georgia in the Senate, y'all, I'm going to work hard. I'm going to get the job done. And you know what? I'm going to come home. We don't need more career politicians. And listen, y'all, my plan as your next U.S. Senator, I mean, it's simple. I'm just going to use my business experience out there to build on the record of results that I've already delivered in Washington. And, you know, like make life more affordable, more safe and prosperous for every Georgia family. First thing we're going to do, get rid of the policies that have fueled these high prices. Right. You see, ISOF and politicians in Washington, they want to pile high taxes on top of high prices. It doesn't work for working families, and it doesn't work for me.
By the outcome.
Thank y'all for being here. 10 months ago, we started this journey. I don't think anybody thought we'd be standing here right now. Even under these circumstances, but I always believed in our message. It was just incredible, the support we got, and we had all the momentum. And like my old high school coach said, the clock just ran out on us. I wish we had a little more time. I want to thank, I could sit here for hours and thank people, but I'm not going to do that. But I want to start with my wife, Allison. She didn't marry a football coach, and she didn't marry a politician. I was neither when we got married, and she has stuck with me and been the rock of our family over a lot of ups and downs, and we had a lot of ups and downs in this. Governor Kemp and First Lady Marty Kemp, please give them a round. And I can't tell you the honor it's been, and I just want you to think about, you know, what they did. They stuck their neck out for a guy who's never been in politics back in August, and then went out and we went 90 stops on the road together, 90. This is the governor and the first lady working their asses off to help us get this Senate seat back. And this is what's so inspirational to me about them. They did this for one reason, because deep down in their heart, they thought it was the best thing for the state. And that's what leadership looks like. The same thing that they did when back in 2020 when they opened COVID up, they weren't thinking about their political career. They weren't thinking about how's this going to look on the polls. None of that crap. They did it because they believed it was the right thing to do for the people of Georgia. And that's the kind of leadership we need, and we need to be inspired by it, and we need more of it up in Washington, D.C. Obviously, I could go forever on my family, who I know is here. I can't see them under these lights. My friends, and it's just been unreal. I can't tell you how humbled I've been through this experience, and I probably hurt the most right now for the team. And listen, I'm sorry for getting emotional, but Cody, Amelia, Mary Parks, Tripp, the whole team who now don't have a job. And that's what politics is. I mean, it's a little bit like coaching. When it doesn't work out, everybody looks at me, but all those young people that work their asses off for our campaign, I will forever be indebted to you, and I will help you any way I can. So, congratulations to Congressman Collins. He ran a tough campaign. He got out early, and we just never could catch him. We had a lot of disagreements, but the one thing that hadn't changed is my opinion of Jon Ossoff. And I do not believe he represents the values of our Georgia, our people, and we need to work together to fire his ass in November. I believe that. Just going to end it. I just want to say one last thing I want to say is, I really got involved in this because of my disappointment in what's going on in Washington, D.C. and leadership in Congress. It's changed, and I know this. The people of Georgia, and I believe the people of America, feel the same way. They're sick of the careerism. They're sick of the corruption. They're sick of the inaction where we all blame each other and nothing gets done. And they're sick of people going up there more concerned about their own political career, more concerned about getting rich or famous than they are serving the people that elected them. And I hope, if anything, that our campaign, our Georgia First contract, can at least inspire more people to think how we think and start change leadership where we get back to what public service is all about. So thank you guys, and God bless you.
And you can write this in your book. And that's exactly what I'm going to do every single day as your next U.S. Senator. So listen now. So hop in, buckle up, and get ready. Y'all, this truck is fired up. We're going to keep the hammer down all the way to November. Thank you for your help. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your vote. God bless, and God bless the great state of Georgia. Thank you.
All right, guys, there you have it. Mike Collins declaring victory in the 2026 runoff for the Senate race come November. As he mentioned a moment ago, he spoke with Derek Dooley on the phone. He said they know all about the mission. He said he also spoke with Governor Brian Kemp on the phone. They say they have some disagreements, but he says they now stand united around one mission, and that is electing a Republican come November. He also struck a different tone than we've heard in other speeches, talking about building coalitions and finding common ground. Those types of lines we really haven't heard from Collins, but as you heard him say a moment ago, he's going to be working overtime to unseat, in his words, out-of-touch, far-left liberal Jon Ossoff come November. So it'll be really interesting to see how these next couple months play out. He mentioned he's going to make a play for the entire state from Buckhead to Bankhead and all over, he said. So you can see him working the room right now. Again, playing up that trucker theme. It's a sense of celebration here in the room, guys. But as Congressman Collins laid out, he has a lot of work between now and November. We're talking about, as he mentioned rightfully, millions and millions of donations pouring in from all over the country, from the National Democratic Party, that he will have to contend with in Ossoff's camp, guys. So as you can see, a very celebratory mood here in the room as Congressman Collins greets supporters and declares victory in this runoff.
What a night. Four and a half months ago, my dad shocked Georgia by announcing his run for governor. But tonight, it's the voters of Georgia who have sent the shockwaves. Over and over, I have heard from people who've seen and met with my dad at one of his many, many events. The comment I kept hearing was, he doesn't talk like other politicians. And by the way, I think he'd take that as a pretty big compliment. Dad has traveled all across the state, from small towns and rural communities to Atlanta and the suburbs, from farms and churches to businesses and community gatherings. He has done more than 125 events, met thousands of Georgians, answered lots of questions, too many questions maybe, shaken hands, and he's listened. If you went to one of these events and you heard him speak, what you heard him say was things like thinking about others first, giving a voice to the voiceless, or showing respect to those who've been cast aside. Now, if you've been around a while, you know those are not typical political talking points. So where did he get all that? Well, I'm going to tell you. He learned it from the people who cared for an abandoned boy from the projects that society deemed worthless. He learned it from the people who gave him a meal, gave him a home, and gave him a chance. And where did those people learn it from? Well, they learned it from Jesus. You see, those people who are now my family, they believe that a man came to earth whose whole way of talking to people, serving people, and loving people started a movement that changed the world. Following his way of living is so radical that every time it's encountered, it changes perceptions and it changes hearts. 6 months ago, hardly anyone even knew who my dad was, and none of the so-called experts gave him a chance of winning this nomination. 30 days ago, once again, few gave him any chance of winning. Heck, 48 hours ago, and yet, here we are tonight. Well, the question is why? Why are we here? Why has this happened? Well, I'll tell you. God did that. The message of loving and of serving others has been changing the world for 2,000 years. Tonight, that message changed the Republican Party in Georgia. And now it's going to change our entire state. You see, this isn't just a message for conservatives. This is a message for every person. Every person that has ever felt alone, regretful, or left behind. The message is that we see you, we respect you, and we want the very best for you.
No matter your background and regardless of who you voted for, you are invited to be a part of this movement. Tonight, Republicans in Georgia have placed their trust in my dad. That trust is humbling, it's sacred. And I know my dad well enough to know that he will not take it lightly. He won't wake up tomorrow thinking about what this victory means for him. He will wake up thinking about what this responsibility means for the people and the families of this great state. Tonight, you have chosen a nominee who knows how to build, who knows how to solve problems, and who believes results matter more than rhetoric. But even more than all that, Georgia has chosen a servant leader, a man who gives his word and keeps it, a man who does not need fortune, a man who does not want fame, a man who's doing this because he feels called to serve. To everyone, and so many of you in this room tonight, to everyone who stood with him on this journey, I just want to personally say thank you. Your support, your work, and your passion have meant the world to him and to our entire family. I hope that tonight you are proud of what you have achieved. It's because of you that we are here. To those of you who did not vote for my dad, hopefully no one in the room, but I sincerely want you to know this. My dad will work for you. He will listen to you. He will serve you and he will serve your family because that's who he's been called to be and that's who he is. Take it from the person who maybe knows him best, who's seen him in the quiet moments and the hard moments when there were no cameras and no headlines. My dad's the real deal. He's someone you can trust. He's someone you can believe in. And believe me, no one will serve Georgia better. So please join me in welcoming to the stage my dad, Georgia's next governor, Rick Jackson.
Thank you. Well, the SEC championship's over. On to the national championship, isn't it? Thank you, Georgia. When I announced our campaign, I said the political class protects itself. The media protects them, and lobbyists prop up the whole thing to protect their bottom line. It's a cartel, and I said, I'm coming to break it up. Well, tonight, we shattered it.
Like I said then, I'm the only candidate who doesn't owe a thing to the political establishment. I don't care what special interests want, how much they beg, how much they give me. I can't be bought, and I won't back down. Tonight, you made your voice heard loud and clear. Tonight, we did more than win a runoff. Tonight, we proved the people of Georgia are in charge. Thank you to every person who believed in this campaign. Thank you to my campaign staff and leadership. Thank you to every volunteer who knocked on doors, over 250,000 doors. Over 700,000 phone calls. Thank you for doing that. Put up signs, sent texts, hosted events, prayed for us, and stood with us. Thank you to my family, to Melody, Shane, Chad, Dana, and the grandkids. I know this has not been easy on you. I'm grateful for all that you've sacrificed for this campaign. And for my grandkids, thank you for the best TV commercial this month. There's one other person I'd like to single out, if you don't mind. Thank you, Nick Ayers, for your friendship and for chairing this campaign. Nick, I know you tried to talk me out of running, but once I decided to run, you went all in, and I'll always be grateful. Thank you. This campaign was never about me. It was always been about the people of Georgia, especially those who feel unheard by the powerful. Tonight belongs to you. Now the primary is over and the general election begins. Georgia cannot afford to get this wrong. We face Keisha Lance Bottoms, the former mayor of Atlanta. Keisha Lance Bottoms did such a bad job as mayor, she didn't even run for re-election. She would be an absolute disaster for Georgia. When violence surged, families were afraid, businesses worried, and police officers needed support. Keisha Lance Bottoms turned her back on all of them. Keisha Lance Bottoms failed. She hopes Georgians forget what happened when she was in charge. I won't let them. I grew up in the Techwood projects. Keisha Lance Bottoms, abandoned neighborhoods, just like the one I grew up in. That is unforgivable. We cannot let Keisha Lance Bottoms take that Atlanta record statewide. I know what it's like to feel like nobody sees you, especially the elite and the powerful politicians like Keisha Lance Bottoms. I had 7 different stepfathers and a mother who battled alcoholism. I lived with 5 different foster families and attended 13 different schools. But with God's help, I built a business, created thousands of jobs, and lived the American dream. That is why this fight is personal to me. When you grow up the way I did, you never forget where you came from. You never forget the families who are working harder than ever but still falling behind. You never forget the people who do everything right and still wonder whether the system is ever going to work for them. Keisha Lance Bottom did worse than forget. Her actions and inactions made things worse and made the lives of working families harder. I know what it means to struggle. I cannot look away from the people who are fighting those same battles today. I'm running for the young families struggling to make ends meet, wondering how they'll pay the rent, afford groceries, just keep the lights on, and still build a better future for their children. I'm running for the working mom who gets up before the sun, works all day, comes home, and gives everything she has left to her family. I'm running for that crying widow, afraid she may lose the home where she raised her children and built for a lifetime of memories because of her property taxes being so high. And I'm running for every person who feels forgotten, overlooked, or left behind by politicians like Keisha Lance Bottom who stopped listening. This campaign is about them. It's about all of us. In November, the choice could not be more clear. Do we continue moving Georgia forward, or do we go backward to Keisha Lance Bottom's record of excuses and failed leadership? We will lower taxes, both income and property taxes. I'll cut the taxes in half, or I won't run again. Simple as that. We will freeze property taxes immediately and then work to lower them immediately. So families are not priced out of their homes. If you bought a home, paid your mortgage, raised your family, and played by the rules, the government should not punish you because politicians can't control spending. We're going to make education a top priority. That starts with reading. Up until the third grade, a child learns to read. But after the third grade, that child is reading to learn. If a student can't read by the end of the third grade, everything gets harder. Right now, 2/3 of Georgia third graders are not proficient. This year, the legislature took steps to fix that. As governor, I'll finish the job. We will support parents. We will back great teachers. We will get politics and bureaucracy out of the classroom and put reading, writing, and arithmetic and common sense back in our schools. The 2/3 of our kids cannot read in the third grade. Those 2/3 kids are who I'm going to represent. We will also lower health care costs. I'm the only candidate in this race who actually understands health care. I've spent my life in it. I know where the costs are. I know where the waste are. I know how the system works, and I know how it fails families. Too many Georgians are paying more and getting less. We can lower costs by using better technology and cutting out a lot of the middlemen who add layers and drive up costs. We're going to make sure Georgia families get quality care they can actually afford, especially those in our rural communities. We will take on the cost of living everywhere government touches your life, because it's not just taxes. It's your power bill, it's your grocery bill, it's your insurance bill, it's the cost of gas, child care, housing, and getting your kids to school. Families are doing everything right and still feeling they're falling behind. That is not because Georgians are failing. It's because government has been too expensive, too slow, and too comfortable wasting your money. As governor, I will treat affordability like a crisis because for too many families, it already is one. We'll make housing easier to build. We'll cut unnecessary regulations that drive up prices. We'll support small businesses and local employers. And we will make sure Georgia remains a place where a young family can buy a home, raise their children, start a business, and build a future for that family. We will keep Georgia the best place in America to do business. We will recruit jobs to every corner of the state. I'll give you this promise. I will create more jobs than has ever been done in the history of Georgia. We will make state governments smarter, faster, and more accountable. Every dollar government wastes was earned by a Georgian, and I will never forget that. To independents who love this state and want common sense, this campaign has a place for you. To the Democrats that are tired of high prices, rising costs, feel like they can't keep up, this campaign has a place for you. To every Republican who wants to keep Georgia strong, safe, and free, this campaign needs you. We're not building a campaign for the insiders. We are building a movement for the people, and you're who I'm going to represent. Keisha Lansbaum represents the failed past. We represent Georgia's future. She wants to take the Atlanta City Hall agenda statewide. We will continue to lay the foundation laid by Georgia's great Republican governors for the last few years. She will make excuses. I'll deliver results. I do not need the money. I don't care about the title. I did not run for governor to join their club. I ran to break up the club.
Here. Thank y'all. Give yourself a round of applause. And I want to thank my wife, Jan, right here. So, and Banks and Stella, and my entire family right here. They have been by our side the entire time, just like you here in this room as well, and I'm so thankful for my friends. I've got my old college, the old jock club over here, you know. So, but it's good to have good friends. It's good to have a great family, and it looks like we're going to come up a little short here tonight. And that's unfortunate, but we had a great election day. You just didn't have enough runway to get it all the way there. It looked like it was coming back pretty good, but the early voting margin was just a little too much to overcome. So, but I want to thank my opponent and his team for running their race, and I also congratulate them as well. Look, I've always been one of those that I've never let politics define me as a person, and I've always believed that the sun will come up tomorrow, and you can rest assured of that, and that there is a life after politics, and I have truly enjoyed serving the people of Georgia. I've enjoyed my time as lieutenant governor. I've enjoyed the time I was in the state senate. And, like I said, public service was something that it's a calling. You enjoy helping people. You enjoy helping those who come to you with issues. And that's why I've always done it. And I, enjoy representing my home county here. and I'm proud of our fellow hometown boy, Mike Collins. I congratulate him for running a great race and being our nominee for U.S. Senate. Look, and I greatly appreciate, I cannot tell you how much I appreciate each and every one of you who are here in this room. Obviously, you know, we were outspent, you know, probably 7 or 8 to 1, and it was a very competitive race. And we felt like we had a chance to win tonight, and it just came up a little short. And I told Banks earlier, I said, you know, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but you always get up and brush yourself off and move on to the next challenge in life. So my journey is over here, but I do appreciate all the support through the years. Because each and every one of y'all have become like family to us, and we wish each and every one of y'all will be friends forever as far as we're concerned, you know. Yeah. Well, with that being said, I greatly appreciate everybody being here. Stay as long as you want, but I know everybody is disappointed. I am too, but like I said, there's another day, and there's a brighter day, and life does go on. So thank y'all very, very much, and God bless. Thank y'all. Appreciate it. All right. Thank you. Thank you.
and it's in a sound financial manner. And that's what we've done under my leadership. That's why we have that AAA bond rating for the first time in the county's history. So when we get requests for millions of dollars, and most programs are good, but you have to say no. And that is a very difficult thing for most people to do, is to say no. Because when you're saying no in instances to friends, sorors, classmates, and it's very difficult. But I was known as the taxpayer's watchdog because I was able to say no. This is a good program, but we just can't afford it at this point in time. So that's what worries me for the future. And also, millage rate of property tax increases worry me for the future. That's an easy way to throw money after problems, but that's not always the most economical thing, not the most prudent thing to do. So that's what I'm concerned about for the future, because if you raise taxes, who is it going to impact? It's going to impact senior citizens. It's going to impact those on fixed incomes. It's going to impact young families starting out. It's going to impact homeowners, and it's also going to impact those who are renters. So you have to be very, very careful, which means then that you have to say no to a lot of programs and projects that come before you, and I don't see that happening. That's what worries me for the future.
So if you lose this race, what do you think made the difference? Do you think that your opponent is making promises that she won't be able to fulfill? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I don't think there's any doubt about that. But you know, time will tell. But I think one thing that I haven't seen the numbers, but black girl magic is real. That is real. So it's what it is. But you have to deal with that. If you just look around, not only locally but nationally, it's real. And you know, I'm a male, a black male. Nothing I can do about that. But my record and my performance, I think, is unmatched, unparalleled. So it's not about record. It's not about performance. That's one of the factors that I think that has caused me to be in the position that I'm in right now. No disrespect intended at all. It's just a fact of life, and it's a national thing that's going on.
So might this be the last race you run, or shall we see you again?
Somebody else asked me that a couple of weeks ago. I have my first grandchild is going to be born on July 26th, and I'm looking forward to that.
I didn't know that. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll just
yeah, we'll see. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Very good.
Anytime. Yeah.
All righty. We appreciate it.
No.
around and made the right decision again, y'all. I said we messed around and made the right decision again, everybody. Mo Ivory, we're proud of you, Mo. We're proud of you, Mo. Right, everybody? Mo stepped up. Mo stepped in. And now, Mo stepped up, everybody, to be the next chair of Fulton County. You took the hits. You stayed the course. You was Mo the whole way, too. You know, I love when somebody, their authentic selves, day and night, in private conversations and public conversations. Mo, you still Mo. You the Mo that I met 30 years ago. When, 30 years ago, we was like 1 or 2 years old. But 30 years ago, you are still that same Mo. That heart of service, that belief in people, that gift of giving as a lawyer, as a professor, as a radio personality, as a community organizer. You, Mo, deserve this moment because you stayed the course. We believe in Mo. Listen, it's no offense to her opponent. Her opponent, Rob Pitt, served this county and this region for many, many, many years, several decades. Thank you for your service, Rob Pitt. But now we turn it over to Mo Ivory. And as a reminder, the county now has distinctive women leadership. A woman now leads the largest county in the state of Georgia. Just to do the math, that means Clayton County, Henry County, Cobb County, Gwinnett County, Douglas County, I need another hand, Douglas County, and now Fulton County all have women, black women leadership. You add in Rockdale, we got all women leadership. I don't know what I'm going to do at these Atlanta Regional Commission meetings that I'm the chair of. But it means sound leadership is being chosen in our region. Atlanta, Georgia stands ready to partner in a real sincere way with Fulton County, like we've never done in the recent times. You have brought forth a platform, a goal, a set of agenda items, and a set of reality that you want to set for Fulton County. That means you want to work with the capital city of the state of Georgia, which is Atlanta, and I plan to work with you day in and day out, week after week, getting the will of the people done, because that's what we deserve. We can't have an overcrowded jail this long. We can't have courts backed up this long. We can't have the county saying we don't invest in homelessness this long. We can't have elections that take this long to get counted. We need new leadership. You voted. We got it. The name is Mo Ivory, everybody. Let's go right now. Now, some more co-laborers and co-conspirators in the Mo Ivory movement are here with me today. We have state leaders. We have other Fulton County leaders that are here. We stood up this morning and we voted together. The Solicitor General of this county, the Sheriff of this county, myself and Mo, we stood up and we said we are behind Mo. And now what we're going to do is have some of them come up and speak, because we got to hear from the leadership that's got us here. Somebody that fights day and night, who's going to start fighting again tomorrow in the state legislature because the job ain't done. We ain't letting them redraw these maps in some crookedness that's going to work out for our demise. Hell no, we say. So we hand the mic over to the ones that's going to deliver us the right set of maps tomorrow. Nan O'Rourke of the State Senate.
It's way past time for new leadership in Fulton County. Am I right? And as the mayor just said, we have stood up, showed up, cast our votes, I was proud to endorse Mo Ivory when she ran for her seat on the county commission and had a glorious victory. And when she got in there and learned all the things that needed attention, that needed investment, that needed strong-willed people with plenty of energy, she knew she had to take this step and step up for the chairmanship of this great county that we all love. We are ready for the battles ahead. As you know, we're going into special session tomorrow with the sole purpose of redrawing maps to remove black members of the Georgia delegation to our U.S. Congress. Shame, shame, shame. And what we've done with this election tonight is put in place the person who will stand and be the leader that we need in Fulton County, the largest county in the state, at the crossroads of change in this country. And we have Mo Ivory as our new chair. Watch very carefully. Tomorrow, the legislature starts with a special session. What do they want to do? Tear down. They want to go back to the Confederacy. That's what they want to do. But we've got Mo Ivory in place over here. She ain't playing that. No. Mo will be there. I call her manna from heaven. She will be there with all of her tenacity, her smarts, her dedication, and an incredible work ethic that she can put up against anybody. And Mo never falls short, never disappoints. She's always there. And Mayor, you said it when you said authenticity. We have authentic leadership in this woman of an incredible dedication and just smart as hell. Smart as hell. And that's what we need right now, because we're in the battle. We're in the battle of our lives right here in this state. We're at the crossroads of whether they're going to go back to the old Confederacy or whether we're going to push them out of the way and move forward united with a multiracial, multi-generational coalition that we're looking at tonight. That's what we've got lined up, and this election tonight has set the stage for us to move forward and take up the battles that are ahead of us. We thank and appreciate all of you who have risen to the occasion to make this moment happen. We thank Mo, we thank her family, incredible supporters. I'm not going to call names, it's dangerous to do. Oh, there it is. But it took us all, it takes a village, and this village is going nowhere but forward under the leadership in Fulton County of our own dear, beloved, talented, hardworking, visionary leader, Mo Ivory.
Nobody's more excited than your Fulton County Sheriff. Let's go, Mo! I said this morning, and I meant it. I have never seen somebody with so much energy. Anything that happened at 901 Rice Street, she was there. Anything that happened to anybody in 901 Rice Street, she was there. If we had floods in 901 Rice Street, she was there. I had to make it a statement. I had to apologize to her husband. I had to make sure, again, and thank you, right? Because this is a family undertaking. And so when I saw her, we had explicit orders. When you see Mo Ivory, she had unfettered access to everything the sheriff had to offer. I say that because I'm humbled that you ran for office.
I'm not going to be in frame. I'm just going to talk over what you see right here.
And somebody once told me, if you want the crown, you got a prize in somebody's hand. And tonight, you have finger by finger, prize that crown in somebody's hand. And I'm excited for you.
I'm going to talk
We've had to fight for what was right. We've had to stand by and watch people diminish the role of the sheriff. And we had to understand when you came in, there was a new vision and a new day. So I'm excited. So one more time, y'all join me, because again, I know how to be brief. Let's go, Mo. Let's go, Mo. Let's go, Mo. Let's go, Mo. And I give you the greatest solicitor in the world of solicitors, the greatest legal mind in the history of Fulton County, my friend, my frat brother, Solicitor Gamble.
One more time. Whenever we came together to, listen to this, create transformative justice, generational change. Commissioner Mo Ivory, Attorney Commissioner Mo Ivory, is a bridge to our fathers and grandfathers' generation, to ours, and then down to our children's. This is a Mo moment. Okay. Where Mo has the Mo midterm. Let's deliver even more.
Christine, you're looking at a jubilant crowd here as Mo Ivory has talked to this talk and said briefly that she believes she's going to win. We're waiting her to take to the stand right now. We've had several people who have endorsed her who have already spoken. State Senator Ann Ulrich, Sheriff Patrick Gavant, and of course another Mayor Andre Dickens. He has talked about how excited they are to partner to move Atlanta and Fulton County straight ahead and forward. I had a chance to talk to the state senator about 9 o'clock. I want you to take a listen to what she had to say.
You don't get elected without people and without strategists and without those who invest in you. It's my pleasure to introduce a fantastic leader and servant, Attorney Maria Banjo, Chief Strategist. Maria Banjo.
That, but for now we're live in downtown Atlanta.
Now, I've spent enough time around politics to know that campaigns usually ask folks to choose between candidates. This campaign asks people to choose between honesty and excuses, between accountability and complacency, between accepting things as they are and demanding better. For months, we've had conversations that some people just didn't want to have. We talked about the jail crisis, that too many people have come to accept the deaths in our jail. We talked about the court backlogs that leave families waiting for justice. And we talked about the simple truth. Fulton County can do better. Not because we don't love Fulton County, but because we do. One thing I've learned is that problems don't get solved by pretending they don't exist. They get solved when people are willing to be honest and do the work. Now, there's always a reason to wait. Always a reason to just go along. Always a reason not to challenge the status quo. This campaign challenged it anyway. Not because it was easy, because it was necessary. Because leadership requires courage. Because some problems don't get better when we ignore it. Some problems don't get better when we wait. And some conversations are simply too important not to have. Now, I've also sat in enough meetings to know that most problems aren't caused by the lack of information. They're caused because of a lack of courage. sold a story, and they know when they're being told the truth. Now, I've had the privilege of serving as Commissioner Ivory's Chief of Staff and Campaign Manager. Now, with Mo Ivory, there isn't much difference between the Mo you see in front and the Mo you see behind the scenes. I've walked through Fulton County Jail with Commissioner Ivory. I've watched her stop and talk with people who other electeds wouldn't even notice. I've watched meetings stop because she wasn't willing to just move on until she got her answer. I've watched her ask them hard questions even when the answers weren't easily available. And I've even watched her challenge people who thought that just the way it is okay and is enough. Many of you are here tonight because you believed in this county, that we could do better before it was even popular to do so. You knocked on doors, you texted, you called, you had hard conversations with your family and your communities. You did that because it wasn't easy, but it was necessary. You believed people deserved a seat at the table, even when nobody in power was saving them a chair. And that's what this campaign is really about. It was about whether people believed they deserved a seat at the table. Tonight, the people of Fulton County answered that question. For months, people asked whether Fulton County was ready for a different kind of leadership. Tonight, Fulton County answered it for itself. Now, we were told a lot of things over the last several months. Tonight, the only voice that matters is the voice of the voters. They want honesty, they want accountability, they want leadership with the courage to tell the truth and do the work. They want better, and tonight, they chose it. Fulton County, your next chair, Commissioner Mo Ivory.
I wanted to say that I'm like in a very calm manner. A lot of people are like, why is she so calm right now? But I gave the result away a long time ago because I was never invested in the result. I was invested in the process. And that's how we've been the entire time that we have been serving. And I say we because I'm not just serving by myself. We is everybody that has been helping me, is everybody here, is the entire village that calls and says, thank you so much, Mo, you can do it, or Mo, I saw that, or Mo, I see that social media post. That's everybody keeping me going through this whole process, because it was the process, not the outcome, because a good process will always give you the good outcome. So when the attacks were coming and all of that nonsense was going on, we weren't even paying attention to it. And you know, sometimes I wanted to. I was ready to be like, what the? What the Fulton? No, I was like, we stayed in our process. which was to serve the people, to knock on every door that we could, and to get our message out. And that worked. So I want to just say thank you to everybody. I stand before you tonight very humbled, grateful, and deeply honored by the trust of Fulton County has placed in me. I want to thank every voter who participated in this election, whether you voted for me, voted for someone else, or are just beginning to engage in local government. Thank you. Democracy works best when people participate. And tonight, the people of Fulton County made their voices heard. I want to just go quickly through the people that I want to thank because it's important to stop. And I know this is going to be a little long, but it's really important to stop. First, I want to just thank my family. I want to thank my mother and my father. My father suffers from Alzheimer's, and every time that I would go visit him, I would tell him, Daddy, I'm running for office. And he'd go, you are? And I'd say, yes. And I'd say, I'm running against Rob Pitts. And he'd be like, because he's voted for Rob Pitts the entire time he's lived in Georgia. They are the same age. And I said, well, Daddy, what do you think about me running against Rob Pitts? And he's like, I think you can win. And I come back 2 days later, we have the same conversation again. And he just made me feel like I could win every single time we had the conversation. And then my mother, who is not very political, but she's a New Yorker to her heart, she said, how much do you need? And every time I'd be like, Mom, there's a maximum you can give. And she'd be like, well, let's figure it out and how I can give more. And she was just there trying to do every single thing that she could do to make it happen. So my mother and my father and my sister, who through all of it, she's here tonight, Luana, she made phone calls every night. She was a beast on social media, answering every one of those posts like, you better not talk about my sister, you better never. She was there, doing it all. And I had to tell her, please stop sending me all of these posts. I don't want to read them all. She was like, don't worry, I'm going to answer them. I'm going to answer them. And she did. And so I want to thank all of my kids that are here. I think only 2 are here. Janie lives in my daughter. You all know Janie. She was the Southwest Atlanta Sign Patrol, okay? And she lives in Southwest Atlanta, and every single time she saw one of mine down or somebody doing something to my sign, she'd be like, oh no. So much so that my grandbabies were like, Grandma's sign is down! Grandma's sign is down! And they would get the signs themselves. So Janie, thank you so much for doing that. And I think Marcus is here also. I'm not sure where Marcus is, one of our sons is also here. And they all helped out and went and voted. All of our kids can vote now, all 6 of them, and they all did. And so that was so special to me. And, you know, I have my husband next, and I'm never going to be able to do justice to what I will say about my husband. I couldn't even run campaigns if it wasn't for my husband, Rob. He will wake up, he has a real job. His job is not putting Mo signs out. Although that's what a lot of people would think because they see him roaming around from Mountain Park to Chattahoochee Hills in one day, okay? And then he would come home at 4 o'clock in the morning and get up and go to work. His real job, and provide for us. So I just want to say, babe, there's not enough words of thanks that I can give to you for holding me up through this whole process. Not this first election, every election I've ever been in. And I go to him and I say, babe, should I do it? And he's like, if you want to, babe, we'll do it again. Never a big fight about it, just figuring it out. So I love you all. I love you, Janie, Marcus, babe. You know how much I love you. The first person that I spoke to when I wanted to run is my political mentor, my girl, Lauren Growarga. I said, Lauren, she's my constituent from District 4. She's been my friend for so long, and I called her up in November of 2025, and I said, we need to have coffee. We went to Muchachos, we had coffee, and I said, what do you think about if I try to run for chair? She was like, and then we were gonna do it. And go. And then she starts galvanizing for me and she's been a part of every single election I've been a part of, and I love you for that. Thank you so much. The next person after that was Mayor Shirley Franklin. I called her up, and you know that Shirley Franklin's been in a race with Rob Pitts before. So she had some words. I needed to know, could I win this? And I went to her and I said, Mayor, do you think I could win? I really need to know. You're the only woman I know that has run against him before that I can have this honest conversation with. And she said, you can absolutely win. You can absolutely win. And she said, and I will, and she has been helping me ever since that day, so I know she's not here, but I just want to give a great thanks to Mayor Shirley Franklin, who has provided guidance to me this whole entire way. And then there's not a time that I have a thought about politics that Senator Nan Orrock isn't right there saying, you can do it. You can do it. There's Nan. You can do it. I mean, if she's not the most positive person, uplifting, telling me, bring me over some signs, give me here's a check, go to the senior home, go to the, she tells me what to do, and I just do it. Because it's the right advice. And then I said, I want Fulton County to be different. Because one of the things that bothered me so much is the terrible relationship that Fulton County has with the city of Atlanta. And I watched it up close. And I called my friend. I didn't call the mayor. I called my friend Andre, who furnished my first house years ago. And I said, can you come over so we can talk? And he said, of course. And he came over and I said, I really want to do this. Do you think that I could win? Will you be with me? Can we work together in partnership to make our city and our county better? Because guess what? We serve the same people. We serve the same people. We don't have to stack on top of each other. We just have to put it together. And he said, yes, I will. And so I was ready to go. And we worked our butts off in this campaign because we knew we had the people behind us and we knew that we could make it happen. I want to thank Congresswoman Nikema Williams who supported me. Ryan, I know Ryan may not be here yet, but Ryan's going to talk, but when I told Ryan I want to run, he was like, let's go, let's do it. And Ryan was a part of my Leadership Atlanta class, and we talked about so many things, and he gave me so much advice, and he opened up the gathering spot for me, and he said it is time for this city to embrace new leadership. And the way new leadership happens is when leaders work together. So I told Ryan, I need a place to do that. He said yes. He's going to need something from Fulton. I'm going to say yes. That's how leaders work together. So Ryan, I thank you for being that kind of a leader. I can't wait to see what we're going to do. I want to thank D.A. Fonnie Willis, all the justice partners, Sheriff Patrick Labatt, Solicitor Keith Damage, Shay Alexander. We would look at each other in the eyes and know that we have got to get a change. And I would be in those meetings and we would be looking at each other like, what is going on here? And then I told them I'm going to run, and everybody was like, let's go. And even though there were 3 people in the race, when it came down to 2, we all united together to make it happen the way that you should do. And it is always possible. I want to thank the mayors, Carmelita Gomes from South Fulton, Mayor Bianca Motley Brown. Where is she? Oh, Mayor Brooke. Oh, Bianca. The mayor of College Park. Everyone from College Park in here, raise your hands up, College Park. I mean, we are going to work with our cities. Fulton County has 15 cities. College Park is one of them. East Point, Hayville, Mayor Hallman, thank you so much. I called, every single one said yes. Keisha Chapman in East Point, yes. Mayor Bianca, yes. Alan Hallman in Hayville, yes. South, because everybody wants something better. And so we work together that way, and I'm so grateful. Councilman Chase Steele, who is from Hayville, where is he? Right there. Oh my God, day one. Before Chase was even an elected official, Chase used to say, Mom, come on, you're doing great. I mean, before he was even elected, and then he became elected, and I cannot wait to work together as the chairman and him on the council in Hayville. So, so important. And then Jason, where's Jason? That's the next. Right there. You know people like in your life, in the legal world and all that, and you just are friends and you like people. And then Jason ran for governor, and Jason ran an amazing race for governor. And the one thing that you always know about Jason is he does the right thing. It took Jason 6 minutes to get on his social media and endorse Keisha. He didn't have to wait, he didn't have to think about it, because he wants the best for Georgia. And then I called Jason and I said, Jason, can I have your support? And he said yes, but not only did he want to give me his support, he said, Mo, we're going to go knock on doors. And he came outside with me and we knocked on doors because he's about the business. And I thank you so much, Jason. I can't wait to talk more to you about that. There's so many more people. There's Rashawn Kemp, Senator Rashawn Kemp, who's in here. Is he still here? Okay, awesome. Representative Phil Olaleye, he was supporting me, and then all of the organizations that supported me. Georgia Men for Democracy Now, the first organization to endorse me. Thank you so much. I want to thank Maggie Goldman and Jean, all of the North Fulton ladies. Listen, people thought, like, how are you gonna, somebody said to me, nobody knows you in Johns Creek. Nobody knows you in Milton. They do now. They do now. I want to thank Arlen Lawrence. Where's Arlen, who did all my media? I've been knowing Arlen since my V103 WAOK days in 2010, and she has done all my media through all of my campaigns, and I couldn't do it without you, Arlen. You are so skilled, and I thank you so much for that. Atlanta North Georgia Labor Council, the Teamsters, Fair Fight Action, Southern Poverty Law Center, Palente, because I am a Latina.
To my opponent's lack of experience, I ran on the fact that we've had a level millage rate over the past 7 years under my administration. She has promised to increase the millage rate, voted to increase the millage rate by 14.2%, which she has denied, and that's going to be the future. So it's over, but I am concerned about the future of Fulton County. Then I've been asked, are you through with politics? Well, you never say never to anything, but the best news for me and my family now is we're having our first grandbaby on July 26th. But I have, I think we ran a great campaign. The contrast could not have been, well, there's just no comparison between the two of us. But one factor, though, that I'm told, black girl magic is real. It's not only real here, it's real nationally. And I can't change my sex. I'm a black male, but it's the fact that black females vote for other black females. And I'm not saying that's good or bad, that's just the way it is. And that was a huge factor in my race. But again, it's not over with. I'm going to take a look at the future, what the options are for the future. There is a Republican in this race who will be facing the Democratic person. Then there's a line called independent. So let's see what happens in the next several days. But the main thing is I want to thank y'all for sticking with me. I had in my mind at least, a fabulous career as a public servant.
That's right. That's right.
Andy Young always says, man, we got to stick with you. You know, you're the last of a dying breed. But I'm not dying. I'm not going anywhere. This thing is really good. So just wanted to thank y'all so much for sticking with me. And just let me say that, stay tuned. Angelique, you got that?
Yes, sir.
Stay tuned. Thank y'all very much.
We love you, Rob.